we can repeat those statistics, but chances are when you get two good teams together, that's going to be tough to do. We've made some adjustments offensively that I think will benefit us. And so I fully expect another great high school football game, but, I'd be remiss if I think the advantage goes to the Cats.
It's got to be the Cats, right?
Got to be. So
yeah, we had a barn burner of a football game here 2 weeks ago. It was amazing what happened down there. Lane Carroll coming through with two big catches, almost like the Willie Mays style catch over the shoulder into the end zone. And I swear that's probably the play of the year so far.
Yeah, it would have to be near the top. I mean, Quinn talked about it a little bit later. Those were two great high school catches on that same drive that just really kind of set the tone for the game and made the difference in the game.
Yeah, really won the game for us.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure Marion will make some adjustments, but, we're fortunate enough. We have some other weapons, too. And I think Jamie and, his other group of receivers, Bobby Medley and Austin Davidson and those guys are going to factor into the game plan in some form or fashion.
We seen Davidson last week make some big plays down the field late in plays. Him and Jamie seem to have that special connection we talk about. And I think a lot of it will be on Aaron Rose to see how Aaron can run the rock tonight.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go. This group, and we've talked about it a ton. They're great kids, and they've worked really hard to put themselves in this position. So I'm sure they're going to leave their best effort on the field, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Yeah, hopefully so. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Harper.
Always good to see you guys. You got a good spot here. I may have to swing back and visit you at halftime.
Yeah, come back.
You're more than welcome to.
All right, thanks, guys, for all you do.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Harper. And with that, let's go ahead and move to the keys for tonight, or storylines for tonight's game, as Mr. Harper is going to head back out and battle the cold weather here tonight. Marion's front seven held Virginia High to just 19 total rushing yards in their loss 2 weeks ago for Marion. Let's see if the Cats can balance it out on offense tonight in their run game.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, two pass connections from big play Jamie Lathrop to Lane Carroll for touchdowns. Those were the big plays that carried us over Marion. Tonight I feel like they're going to have to hit a lot of chunk plays if they want to do it and make it on to round two.
So we'll see how that works. And will Virginia High or Marion move on? That's the big storyline. A season comes to an end tonight. Whose is it going to be? Both teams have had great seasons. Both would be, I would venture to say, highly disappointed to let them come to an end tonight. So we'll see how that goes.
And, man, it's starting to pack in here, and I'm getting a little excited for some Friday Night Lights, Dylan.
Hey, people are starting to file in. Again, a cool afternoon. Temperatures are going to get down to near freezing tonight. And luckily, got a little heater back in here, so thanks to Jim Hutton, my dad, for letting us use a little portable heater. It's really coming in the clutch, right?
Mad love for Jim Hutton.
Yeah, mad love. So we're excited for kickoff. Let's take you now to an interview we did with Coach Chris. He'll give you the keys. Actually, let's go to a commercial break here and let's do our final segment. Follow Bearcat Radio on Twitter at VHS Bearcat Radio or on Facebook by searching Bearcat Radio. Virginia High boys and girls basketball is coming to Bearcat Radio for the 2017 season. Details will be coming out in a couple of weeks. And Mark, let's just actually stay here. We've got about a 5-minute interview to play with Coach Chris, so we'll just stay here and do the weather for tonight's game. What can we expect?
Well, Dylan, it's cold.
If you're listening to the game and you're at home in a blanket, hey, that's where we'd like it, right?
Hey, I don't know if I want to leave my booth for that, but this space heater is doing me a lot of good. But it's supposed to get down pretty close to freezing tonight. I woke up this morning 34 degrees, and I didn't expect it to get much hotter than that. So expect a cold one here tonight. Everybody's already bundled up on our sidelines. No snow in the forecast, though, so that's a plus, I guess.
Well, if it was supposed to rain, it would turn to snow probably tonight. So it's going to be a cool afternoon. And Mark, give us a couple of key matchups for tonight's game.
Man, I think you got to look back to Jamie Lathrop versus that Marion front four for them. And I don't know. I think our defense front versus their offensive line. I think both of the trenches tonight are going to be the keys to the game. Two great running backs trying to get some yards, and we're going to see what we can come up with on either end.
Yeah, it's really going to be a battle of two defenses, most likely. At least that's what we're expecting. Of course, if this season has taught us anything, is to expect the least expected. So we'll see how it plays out. And that's the exciting thing. High school football, these guys.
Honestly, if you're going to expect anything and you want to expect something, expect a barn burner. I don't think anybody's going to blow anybody out of the water with the way these defenses have been playing the last couple of weeks.
So expect the barn burner. And that does it for the pregame show. And here's Coach Chris with the keys to the game. Kickoff from Virginia High Marion in the first round of the VHSL playoffs. Coming up next on Bearcat Radio. This is a very familiar opponent for the playoff game. Do you consider it easier or more challenging to play the same team again?
I don't know that I look at it either way. I think there's parts to it make it easier because you're familiar with them. So sometimes that puts you, as I told the kids, sometimes you start on Monday and there's still kinks to work out in your game plan. Well, you kind of get to say square 3 by Tuesday, and I felt like we started about square 7 this Monday because you'd been through those kinks. Do you have to make adjustments off of what you saw in that game, our game personally, and the following week when they play Graham? Sure you do. And you make those adjustments, but you kind of have that baseline already there. So I wouldn't necessarily say easier. I'd just say you iron out the kinks a lot sooner.
From the defensive perspective, you guys have really been showing out on that side of the ball the last few weeks. What do you think Marion changes in their offensive scheme coming into this week?
We'll find out Friday. Certainly we have some ideas of changes and adjustments that they may have, and we prepared for them. But, those will stay in the game plan. They won't go online over the airwaves. We'll keep those to ourselves.
How's this week gone? What was the emphasis this week in practice, and how are we on the injury front? So a 3-parter there.
I got you. Well, good. Great week of practice. We haven't had a bad week yet. I thought Tuesday was the best practice of the entire football season. We backed off a little bit today. We had just a really, really great and spirited and physical practice yesterday, not to the ground, but guys were just really getting after it. That group up front, that offensive line, I think Coach Belcher lit a little bit of fire there this week. They were rolling yesterday. Thanks to Tennessee High, we were able to get on the turf past 3 days. Our practice field's sort of a soupy mess, so huge thanks to our crosstown rival there for allowing us to give their facility. That made practice really, really successful and smooth this week, dealing with the weather. And then, so what do we do? What's the emphasis? No different than any other week. We have a core value we focus on each day. This week's no different. We haven't used the word Marion all week. I think we just don't talk about the opponent. Do we know who our opponent is, what they do? Absolutely, but it comes down to us taking care of ourselves. So Monday we focus on having energy. Tuesday it's about competition. Wednesday's family and brotherhood day, and then we have our team meal. We break bread together. And then Thursday will be effort. Thursday's the effort day because it takes mental effort to focus and a walkthrough. And then Friday you win with discipline and unity. So it's going to be no different than any other week. As far as the injury front, obviously Preston will come on here. That was a big loss for us. We hope to be healthy otherwise. Some dings and so forth, but we hope to be healthy.
They always say the games are won in the trenches. Well, the defensive fronts definitely held their own in the last Marion game. How does that affect the play calling on the defensive side of the ball, and what prior knowledge does that give you?
Well, as I said last time, when you play a team a second time, you're a few steps ahead. You're in a different square when you start the week. Those kinks have been ironed out. I think as much as anything, you can call a game with some confidence. We have confidence in those guys up front. Controlling the line of scrimmage is key. When your defensive line plays well, it makes things easier for your linebackers. And when you can stop the run, you make guys one-sided. That's big. When you feel confident in a 4th and 1 to make some stops, that's important.
Yeah, Doug Rose tweets in, who's actually sitting here staring at you right now.
That's right.
For the fans who aren't here. Who would you say has been your biggest inspirations from a football standpoint?
I'd have to say my dad. He was a head football coach for 40 years in the Hall of Fame. I think I learned from him. Another guy would be Mike Gentry, longtime strength coach at Virginia Tech, close friend and mentor of mine. He kind of additionally taught me the art of coaching, that it's not just science. There's a science to strength and conditioning, but there's an art to it too. So those guys were huge in my career. But, growing up, I think I started going to football games when I was probably 6. On the sideline is at 8. And, I've never really left. So certainly my dad.
Now, I'm looking at that Marion game. Can you give us the keys to the game for Friday night?
You got to contain Ford. He's their man. He certainly warrants attention. You have to contain him. We were able to do that for the most part. He broke free once, but we were able to keep him out of the end zone still on that run. I think that's key. Second thing is dealing with adversity. It's not going to happen easy. Momentum in every game I've ever coached, it goes to the other sideline at some point, and you got to battle through that. So dealing with adversity, particularly in a playoff game, that's going to be key. Third thing is we got to get some run game established. And be productive on the offensive side.
You're listening to Virginia High Bearcat football on Spreaker Radio.
Good afternoon and welcome to Gene Malcolm Stadium. It is officially playoff time as we get set for the coin toss from Gene Malcolm Stadium. I'm Dylan Hutton along with Mark Carr and also our statistician Brady Malone. Getting excited now for another playoff game. You almost don't even have to be excited for this one. It automatically shows up.
Oh, Dylan, I am buzzing right now. The stadium's buzzing. The parking lot's full, and I don't think there's very many seats left on this Virginia High side.
Yeah, the fans came out tonight. You know what? They said, weather isn't going to bother us. Deer freezing. We don't care. We're going to come out and support the Cats. And
Let's go. Let's head to the Gene, baby.
So we got a good one here. Number 4 seed Virginia High hosting the number 5 seed Marion Scarlet Hurricanes. And this is a rematch from a couple of weeks ago, a 13-7 win for the Cats. And, boy, that was a barn burner, and we'll see if we're going to have another one tonight.
Like I said earlier, I don't think there's very many things you can guarantee except it's going to be a barn burner tonight.
And we don't know what kind of game we're going to see. That's why we're here to bring it to you. So we'll have the national anthem, and we'll go ahead and go down to our crowd mic and do the anthem. They're going to do a moment of silence here for Danny Chris. We'll take one with us.
Also, we'd like to remember our veterans as Veterans Day approaches tomorrow. A moment of silence. Thank you. And now our national anthem.
Great rendition there of the national anthem from the Pride of the State Line Band as they'll head off the field after playing the Cat Fight song. And again, we'll have the coin toss here in just a second. Dylan Hutton along with Mark Carr. And, hey, we're not ready for football.
Oh, man, I've been ready all day. I woke up excited. I woke up buzzing all day. And here we are ready for Friday Night Lights.
And it's here. And, this is something the team had in mind, playing the playoffs. I don't think they expected to be hosting a playoff. And we're definitely excited to be here with you for this coverage of Bearcat football here on Bearcat Radio. Again, Dylan Hutton, Mark Carr, and Brady Malone. A cool afternoon from Gene Malcolm. Coin toss getting ready to commence. Again, a cold afternoon. Coach Chris with a big jacket on down on the sideline, the khaki pants. Cats wearing all black uniforms, black lids, black tops with orange numbers, white trim, and black pants. For Marion, they're in the all white with the red helmet and white face mask. Pretty awesome uniforms tonight for both teams, and that's how the way they'll